Hey team, and welcome back to my channel. For those who are new here, my name is Lara and this channel is all about living your life your own way. Today's video is all about self-care, and more importantly, I'm going to go through the 5 self-care things that I do that have really impacted my life. Number 1 is affirmations. But really, it's less like affirmations and kind of more like rules. So I find affirmations to be that wasn't words. I find affirmations to be a little bit not up my alley. It's just a little bit too like whatever this movement is for me. I really thrive off rules. So I have a couple that I now say to myself often, that I will kind of, when I reach certain points in my life or during my day, that I'll actually kind of recite this rule to myself and then keep going. Things you've probably heard me say a million times, things like, if it takes less than a minute, just do it. If you're finding this thing really tricky, try the first 10%. You can't change the things that other people do, you can only change what you do. That one is super great. Try and put that one into your life if you can. That one's awesome because that makes you realize that the thing that you are in control of is this thing. But you can't actually control other people's actions, their minds, or their mindset. And accepting that is so useful. Another one that I really like is every now and again I have to remind myself, because I suffer from a bit of comparison problems. So reminding myself, and again just reciting the rule in my head, that individualism is one of the greatest gifts you've ever been given. The fact that you are you and not like everybody else is amazing. That is your gift. That you are exactly who you are makes you unlike anybody else, and that's awesome. Number 2, make your bed. I was never a bed maker. I was just kind of like, what's the point? I'm just gonna sleep in it again at the end of the night. And then I started to do it. I can't remember why. Probably read it in a book somewhere. And then I started to do it, and I found that having the first thing you do in your day, so if you wake up, get up, another one of my rules, and then the first thing that I physically do with my time is I'll make my bed. And having this first thing that I do every morning be a service to myself and a service to my environment it changes the way you start your day. It changes your mindset for the day, because it starts you off in a place where you are thinking about yourself and you're not automatically thinking about the rest of the world, whether it's what you need to do, whether it's who you need to talk to, whether it's what's on your kind of job list for the day. All of that stuff is less important than focusing here to begin with. Self-care habit number 3 is an Instagram edit. Again, I had a lot of issues with comparison, and particularly being a circus performer, being a physical performer. I also used to do bodybuilding, and I actually ended up with quite a bad relationship with food after that, and body image, and it took me a long time to fight my way out of it. And then I found myself in a place where I was the same sort of relationships with other people's images on Instagram was starting to trigger again. So going through and editing my Instagram down to just being things that inspire me, that was really useful. So rather than kind of being like, oh, look at that person do that amazing thing and I'm not there yet and I'll never be there, and having this weird comparison thing where they're amazing but it weirdly made my mood go down, I instead decided to design around things that makes me want to go in and either train or create. So I actually follow a lot of artists now, because musicians, politicians, activists, like stuff that gets me fiery and actually makes me go, you know what, I want to go in and make some circus today. And I found that to be really, really like good self-care. Number 4 was make my capsule wardrobe. I know that this doesn't sound like a particularly self-care-y thing, it just kind of sounds like a chore. But I found that a lot of the clothing that I was wearing did not make me feel confident. It didn't make me feel like me, and it would end up getting down to those weeks where you've been so busy you haven't been able to do laundry, so you're down to those clothes that you just don't feel confident in. So getting rid of all of those and replacing my wardrobe with items that make me truly feel like the person that I am, so that every day I can go out into the world and be representing me the way that I feel inside on the outside as well, has been such a boost to my confidence. It's also gotten rid of a lot of anxiety. I know that that sounds weird too, but I used to stand in front of my cupboard for ages and try and go, okay, what kind of event is it? Will it be cold? Will it be hot? Like, I've got 18 jackets. Okay, which jacket am I going to wear? Okay, cool. Then what shoes? How do I mix that together? Will that make sense? Oh no, that thing that I was going to wear was in the wash. Okay, now what? With a capsule wardrobe, literally everything matches. I have a lot of like block plain. I've discovered colors I really like. So I have a lot of like this shade of pink, blacks, and kind of like army greens is my entire wardrobe. Everything fits together really, really well, as there's a couple of bold patterns, but not many. And I only have the stuff that I need. It saves me time and it has released so much anxiety from my life. If you're interested in those, I'll link some of the videos below about making my capsule wardrobe. That might help you out. Love it to bits. Last but not least, number 5, a huge self-care habit that has just monumentally changed my life is talking openly about my mental health. So I have anxiety, which is something I didn't realize that I had until a few years back. And when I started, I had an incredibly bad anxiety attack, like an incredibly bad anxiety attack. And then between that anxiety attack and going to therapy was 6 months worth of effort. And I decided, oh, you can hear the washing machine going off in the background. So that was about 6 months in there. And the thing that I found actually helped me to start to book my first therapy appointment was to actively tell people, oh, I'm gonna go to therapy because I had a really bad like something attack. So I'm gonna start therapy soon. And then when I started to go to therapy, the more I would say to people, oh, I went to therapy the other day and I found that this was really useful. And oh, apparently I have anxiety, so that's weird. Or I'll kind of be like, man, my anxiety's playing up today. Like little things like that, and being able to mention it openly that that was what was going on with me that day, or that's some stuff that I was going through, was really helpful, because then you didn't feel as removed or as insane as sometimes you can feel with mental health when you feel like people will reject you, so you keep it inside. And I've actually found the complete opposite thing. The more I talked about it, the more people I found who had also been to therapy, who also had anxiety or who had depression or who had a myriad of other things. And then we were just kind of openly talking about our disorders and how they function and how they mess with our life on a daily basis. And it was really comforting to know that there was this community that I had access to and this support. And to be able to talk openly about it, it makes it seem less scary, because it's the same as kind of being like, man, I went to work yesterday. It's like, man, I had anxiety yesterday. It sucked. Like, it's just a thing that you live with. And removing that stigma was one of the biggest, most massivest self-care things I could ever do for my life. So there you have it. Those are the 5 major self-care things that have made an impact on my life. If you think that any of these will help you out, please implement them. And if there are some things that have truly changed your life, some self-care habits, please put it in the comments below, share it around, let people know. Let me know. I'd be super curious to see if I could try any of them in my life. As always, thank you so much for joining me. And if you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, share, comment, put up a sign in your house, whatever. As always, thank you so much for hanging out. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.